Hi, and welcome back to Scratch. Today, we're going to make pork tamales. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and share this recipe. For this, we'll need 4 dried ancho chilies, 1 onion, a bay leaf, 1.5 pounds of pork tenderloin, 5 cups of water, 2 cups of reserved broth, 4 tablespoons of minced garlic divided, a tablespoon of oil, a tablespoon of flour, 2 teaspoons of cumin divided, 2 teaspoons of chili powder divided, 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt divided, a half teaspoon of pepper, and a half teaspoon of dried oregano. For our dough, we'll need 4 cups of Masa Harina, 3 cups of our reserved broth, 1 1/3 cups of lard or shortening, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of cumin, and 8 ounces of dried corn husks. We'll start by peeling and chopping our onion. Then we'll add our onion, our 1.5 pounds of pork tenderloin, bay leaf, 2 tablespoons of garlic, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of chili powder, teaspoon of cumin, half teaspoon of oregano, half teaspoon of pepper, and 5 cups of water to a large pot. I'm going to be using a pressure cooker to save time. We'll let this boil for 1 hour in a pressure cooker, covered for 2 hours on a stovetop, or 8 hours in a crock pot. While our pork is cooking, we'll remove the stems from our 4 chili pods and seed them. Once our pork is finished cooking, we'll remove it from our pot and allow it to cool. We'll strain our onions from our broth, remove our bay leaf, and reserve all of our broth for use in this recipe. While you can do this on the stovetop and blend after cooking, I'm going to be using a cooking blender for convenience. We'll add our onion, seeded dried peppers, 2 tablespoons of our garlic, our teaspoon of cumin, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of chili powder, and 2 cups of our reserved broth, and simmer for about 20 minutes, and puree our mixture. While our sauce base is cooking, we'll bring a large pot of water to a boil, then remove it from the heat, put our dried corn husks in the water, and allow them to soak for at least 30 minutes. While our corn husks are soaking, we'll shred our pork. Then continue with our sauce. We'll heat our tablespoon of oil over medium heat and stir in our tablespoon of flour, and continue stirring until we have a blonde roux, about a minute. Then we'll add our chili sauce and cook until thickened, about another 2 minutes, before stirring in our shredded pork. To finish up our tamale filling, while it's possible to do this by hand, I'm going to be using a stand mixer. We'll whisk together our 4 cups of Masa Harina, remaining teaspoon of cumin, remaining teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Then we'll add our 1 1/3 cups of lard or shortening to our mixer and beat it with the whisk attachment with 2 tablespoons of our broth on high speed. Once light and fluffy, we'll add our Masa Harina mixture and add 3 more cups of our broth, a half cup at a time, until a wet and sticky dough forms, scraping down the sides as necessary. Then we'll put about 1/4 cup of our dough onto our soaked corn husk and spread it around the top portion using plastic wrap in our hands until it's between 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick. Then we'll place a line of about 1 to 2 tablespoons of our filling along the center and fold our tamales by bringing one long end toward the center and then bringing in the other long end, like a brochure, and then folding the bottom up to finish shaping. After forming our tamales, we'll place a steaming rack in a large pot, add enough water for steaming, cover the rack with additional corn husks to prevent our tamales from falling through. We'll steam them upright in the pot for 45 minutes on the stovetop, or if using a pressure cooker, for 25 minutes with a 10-minute natural release, before relieving the rest of our pressure. We'll serve these hot. And remember, if you like the content, please subscribe.